Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cast. Guys, today I have for you a glorious ProTA game. Some of my viewers thought that I don't like ProTA, and I regret to inform you that you are wrong, sir. You are super wrong. In fact, I love ProTA. I think ProTA is such a great fucking mod, and keeps the dream, the spirit of what OTA was, except it's actually balanced. But it still has all the wonderful mechanics of OTA, like line bombing and picking commanders up in atlases and all that other shenanigans. Honestly, I think this mod is great. And for this cast, I'm only going to say the things that I love about ProTA. So the first thing I want to say that I love about ProTA is that the matches are usually very fast-paced and quick and intense, and that's an awesome feature of this mod. So without further ado, let's introduce the players. This here in orange is Mr. Tag Rock, one of the greatest TA players of all time, and here in blue is Stagma Jr., named so because he plays with his father, Stag Sr., and so they will sometimes be seen playing together in like the big escalation matches, I believe. But anyway, I've heard this match is pretty epic. They've been talking about it a lot in the Discord. In fact, they just won't really shut the fuck up about it. So that's the reason I'm casting it, because I just want to know what all the hype is about. I want to know why won't everyone just shut their mouths about this match. And I'm just curious, so I thought, why not cast it? You know, why not just be witness to the epic ownage that happens here that you know, supposedly is so noteworthy. Rock with a nice little harassment here, a Jeffy getting into the mix. Stag will attempt to reclaim this, and nice micro by Rock, not letting Stag reclaim his Jeffy. Guys, if you keep your Jeffy still, he will be able to reclaim it with a construction vehicle. But actually, Rock not able to finish that kill. If he had microed it a little better, he would have finished that kill. So nice job by Stag, microing that engagement just a little bit better, saving a construction vehicle that should have probably died. So I would say Stag with a nice little early play there, but and a little bit of a lead economically. Not a huge lead, but just a little bit. Anyway, another thing I want to say about ProTA that I love is just the maps that they play. This map, Racine Crossing. Look at it, man. This is, look, I'm sorry, escalation players. Fucking play better maps. I'm sorry, I know you don't like it, you don't want to hear it. The maps you play suck. This map is so cool. Look at this. It's two land masses, two islands surrounded by water with a bridge in the middle. This map has it all. Hold that thought, because it looks like Rock will be taking Stag's first con out of the game. So that is the first con that has been eliminated. And Rock perhaps, I was going to say with an early lead, but it's still pretty even with that con. And it looks like Stag will be perhaps able to stabilize here. Losing a con can be very devastating early on, but not necessarily game-ending if you can recover. But neither player really building that much defense. Surprisingly, a light laser tower or two could be pretty useful, especially near the bridge, but both players, I don't think, have had time to bring their cons up to the bridge yet, and so that's not really a defensive position that they are able to create here. But nonetheless, little skirmishes of flashes, nothing too out of the ordinary in an early 1v1 match. But let's go back to the map. I like to call it Racist Crossing. I have no idea why. But guys, look at this. This map allows for all kinds of really cool gameplay mechanics. You can play land, as we see here. You can just send units across the bridge. You can use hovercraft to, you know, this hovercraft allows you to make a beeline towards your opponent's base or have many more avenues of attack. You can, of course, use ships. Naval is an option here, and air is also a fantastic option because there's quite a distance between the two bases, and air, of course, can fly over any terrain in the game. And so because of that, this map is just very well designed. You can even go into T2 amphibious units like Pelicans or Tritons or anything of that nature, or you can just build regular T2 units. You can build Mavericks and Warriors and Zeusai, Snipers, Fidos, and all of that goodness. And the map really just has it all. And this is one of the things I just love about ProTA, because Escalation players play shit maps. Sorry, I said it. I said it. Don't at me. Don't at me. Here in the middle. Quite a few flashes doing what flash things do. This really is reminiscent of OTA gameplay. The Flash Clash, as some may call it. Actually, no one calls it that. I literally just made it up. I just made that up, okay? No one calls it that. But, yeah, I'm a little surprised that neither player has even attempted to either go air or into the sea. And as I say that, Stag will make me look like an idiot, because he has just gone into air. But again, this is a map that has metal in the water, and so it is not an insignificant investment to go naval on this map and pick up some of that nice, juicy, free metal in the water. Free because it is underneath the ocean, and so it is very hard for your opponent to kill, unlike regular mexes. So it surprises me that neither player has made that investment, but early on, it is extremely important that you protect your land, protect your island. So both players, as you can see, massing flashes here to try to get control of their respective sides, and in the meantime trying to take their islands. But even air, I mean, I'm a little surprised that it took this long for either player to go air as well, but both players going air around the same time. Rock will get it done a little bit earlier, and building his first bomber. I have to say, Stag's air defense, not stellar here. Really very minimal. Very minimal air defense, maybe a defender or two, but that's about it. So a well-timed bombing run could definitely be devastating, but Rock not really having the energy economy here, not really having the resources to build that bomber quickly. He is stalling on energy. Bombers, of course, are extremely energy heavy early on, and so that will be a problem, or it can be a problem. Now, Stag here doing something a little surprising, going straight into advance, not even bothering to go into the water. I think if I was playing this map, I would probably build a shipyard at some point, just because, again, free metal in the water. You can, of course, harass your opponents, bringing a Crusader around here to get some shelling done. Or even a hovercraft platform might work on a map like this to build those C-Mexes, but then again, I am not as skilled as these players. I will fully admit it. Perhaps Stag knows something that I don't. Stag laughing in the chat, and Rock with a question mark, like, what are you laughing at? I'm bombing your base into literal oblivion here. Perfect micro with this bomber, getting every mex in its path. And Stag laughing. What is he laughing about? He says to Rock, "You'll see." I don't see what he's doing. Ah, maybe his own bomber is on the way. So Stag with his own bomber, most likely he's going to be doing the same thing. Both players on the same wavelength here, building bombers at the exact same time, and even going into advanced vehicles. Both players mimicking each other. Again, this is not how I would play this map. Not even bothering to go into naval. It's a little bit surprising. But again, I don't make the big bucks here. These guys are definitely better ProTA players than I am and will likely ever be. So, but it is surprising. It is surprising that no one has gone into true naval options. You know, Tritons, of course, amphibious. They are strong. Like I'm not knocking Tritons whatsoever, but they can't take the metal spots underwater. Hold that thought, though, because 2 bombers in the north now making their way down. How many kills? This bomber with 15 kills! Oh my god, it hurts. 15 kills on this one bomber. Rock microing his little heart out, and he has just done so much damage here. I would definitely say that Rock is ahead, no doubt. The bomber harassment here has been absolutely pristine. 4 kills on that one. Just disgusting by Rock. But hold that thought, because 2 Tritons now coming over. The Triton is not a unit that you see very much in any mod. I mean, I don't see Tritons in Escalation. I've never seen a Triton in ProTA. Just sort of a strange amphibious unit. But I think they have been buffed recently in ProTA, and there's been some discussion about whether they're too strong. I don't think anyone thinks they're too strong, but maybe they're good. I mean, maybe they're strong enough. Certainly they're strong when Rock has no defense at all. Sending flashes now as these Tritons moving their way across the map. Super annoying, especially when you don't have any defense. The Tritons, in terms of like their armor, I don't know. I would call them like mini bulldogs. Right? They have less health than a bulldog. They fire. Not, you know, they're sort of like an inferior bulldog, but they are amphibious. So that is the advantage of the Triton, is that they can hit you from unexpected angles and travel on the seafloor. So already we have seen that Stag with some nice harassment by these Tritons, but now a single bomber moving down the map, moving south, killing yet even more mexes, killing one there. Panthers being built to counter the Tritons, I have to think. But this Triton was put back in the water before the flashes could finish it off in 8 kills. So this is the advantage of the Triton. Again, they're pretty much inferior to a bulldog in every way. But they can go underwater. And as you can see, that is very useful. More Tritons moving through the right here. And the bridge and no man's land, neither side is going to be moving through that anytime soon. But now the Panthers have engaged, and the Panthers will rip through the Tritons pretty quickly. So it's going to depend heavily on Stagma's micro here. His army is inferior. These Tritons are not going to be nearly as strong as the Panthers. But if Stag can bring the Tritons into the correct locations where there's no defenses, it can be effective. But Rock with his own Triton spam, both players have the same idea at the same time. And so again, this is a little bit of a mirror match, both players doing the same thing. I will say this though, this is a mirror match not because there are not other tactical options that either player could have used. On this map there's a million things that either of them could have done. Like Tritons is kind of the last thing anyone would expect, honestly. Triton of Stags has been killed. And this Triton most likely going to get surrounded by flashes and probably not achieve too much. Tritons don't do too well when they get surrounded like this. But like I said, Tritons aren't really what you would expect on a map like this. Not that Tritons are bad, but they're just, like I said, they're not very common. I don't think I've ever seen Tritons in a game I've casted ever in any mod. It's just kind of a weird unit. Typically, you see Gimps and Pelicans much more, or just hovercraft or ships, or even T2 air or transports or just anything. But to see Tritons used here is a treat, especially because both players using this unit that doesn't see the light of day very much. But it's always been a cool idea. So here's another thing I really like about Escalation. I like some of the units have been recolored, so you can see their palette a little bit better. The construction vehicle is a good example. I think the windmills. There's been a lot of different units that have kind of had a touch-up. And I think it shows their color better. I think it's just more aesthetically pleasing, and it allows the player at a glance to sort of see what's going on more quickly. But yet again, another Triton has made its way onto Rock's Island, but there's a lot of Panthers. And Panthers on both sides, so again, this is very much a mirror match. Both players doing very similar things, and again, that is not because it's not because this is the only thing you can do. There are so many options on this map. It's a little bit crazy, actually, that both players deciding to basically perform the same strategy when it feels like hundreds or dozens of strategies. In fact, as I say that, Rock now investing in advanced K-bots. So Rock breaking the mold here, sort of designing his own special strategy. Most likely going to start pumping out Pelicans, which are much more normal for a map like this than a Triton. Because, and there's a lot of reasons why. Because Pelicans hover on top of the water. Because they have an anti-air capability, they can deal with ships better. Pelicans are usually just thought of as stronger than Tritons overall for various reasons. But it really depends on the situation, of course. But generally, Pelicans are better. And yeah, so Rock most likely going into Pelicans here. But Stag still on the T2 vehicle game plan, so we'll have to see if switching to T2 K-bots here was the right call. Building some Farks. So Farks are an ARM T2 K-bot that just basically give you a lot of build power. You build a few of these early on after you complete the factory, just so that you can start spamming out units very quickly. So we might see 5-10 Farks before the Pelican production goes into full swing. But Rock not using all of his metal right now. Stag is using all his metal. And Rock with this Triton, let's see how many kills it has. 3. So this one hasn't done as much. It's just being annoying. But again, the middle, a no man's land. And this bridge will be difficult to break. Perhaps some Lugers, the T2 vehicle artillery, could start to push some of these back. There aren't many defenses on either side. So even some Bulldogs moving across here could eventually break the stalemate. It would take a little while, especially because the corpses would pile up. So, yeah, it does seem like Rock has sort of abandoned his T2 vehicle game plan and is probably going to switch into Pelicans. Oh, as I say that, he builds another Triton, so never mind. He's going to continue to pump out Tritons. And, wow, Stag with a lot of bombers here. 6 bombers there at the top of the map. Slow it down. Some scouts moving through. I think Rock sent some bombers off the top of the map. So, hold that thought. A Triton has moved down here, and he will attempt to get this Moho mine, but it won't quite be successful. But finally, Rock, the first player to build a shipyard in this game. I'm surprised it took this long on a map like this. You would want, typically, you would build a shipyard early, just if nothing else to take this metal, but also to put pressure on your opponent. So it is a little bit surprising to me that it has taken over 20 minutes for either player to build a shipyard. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. But I'm going to keep an eye on these bombers of Stags because this bombing run could be kind of important. However, a Panther has found this, and so Rock will be aware of this bombing campaign. Stag going for the shipyard. Very good idea. You don't want to let that finish. So, nice job by Blue here. And he's already taken out a shipyard. What else can he get? There's a decent amount of air defense here. No flax yet, but a decent amount of missile towers. And what does Stag want to go for? Probably the Moho mines. It's a decent target. They're not that well defended. One will go down instantly. Oh, and going for the advanced K-Bot lab. Not quite getting it. Will he be able to survive the second pass? No, he will not. So that advanced K-Bot lab very, very close to dead. But it will survive with just a sliver of health. And now Stag with 5 Tritons, so he's building a little bit of an army there. Will that be enough? Rock with his own Triton army as well, moving to the south. So both players still on the Triton game plan. And neither player investing much in breaking the middle. Stag might even be able to just move his units across here. Only like a handful of flashes on the bridge. Stag might have enough to just move across. Of course, I don't think he knows that. He hasn't really scouted the bridge in a while. But Rock could move his Panthers down, so it might be a little harder than it seems. However, Stag is going under the water, and Rock is also going under the water, so both players very much on the same wavelength this game. It is kind of surprising. Again, Tritons are not a unit that we see that often. So the fact that both players would commit so heavily to this tank, I think they're both playing chess in 4D. I honestly think both players are thinking, like, he'll never expect this tank because no one fucking builds it. So they're both doing something that is highly unexpected in a high-level ProTA game. But if you can get enough Tritons, they do begin to pose an existential threat, as you can see. Stag doesn't really have a lot down here. He's got a couple Tritons of his own, but nowhere near enough. A contingent of flashes and Panthers moving down to try to stop this. But on the northwest corner, Stag with his own Triton push. Both players relying on some very experimental gameplay. And who can control their Tritons better? Which player can use this very strange, very unexpected unit to its fullest extent? Stag getting a couple Mohos there. And Rock forced to retreat. A well-placed Sentinel here will protect him. A couple Tritons making it into Rock's main base. And Rock working on a big Bertha here. But these Tritons will attempt to kill the advanced aircraft plant. They will not be successful. There's more Tritons here taking out the Moho metal mines wherever they can find them. So nice economic damage by Stag. And to be honest, Rock not really reacting as well as he could here. There could be a better micromanagement. However, oh, hold that thought. What a shitty caster. The shitty caster has missed this bombing run. There's been so much going on. We've missed Rock's Phoenix bombing run, and he's taken out the advanced vehicle plant in that nicely played bombing attempt or bombing campaign. Wasn't an attempt, it was a success. And Rock also with the Hawks as well. So even though Rock did take a lot of damage and not reacting as well as he could have, it's because he was microing his bombers in Stag's base and dealing crippling damage to his production there. And now Stag having to rebuild his advanced vehicle plant. Of course, he does rebuild it very quickly. He did have a lot of resources to do so. He had a lot of floating resources. And so I guess it won't be as big of a setback as I might have thought, or as Rock might have thought. But these Tritons continuing to move through from all these different directions. What a game this is. This is just... This game is just very back and forth. And both players really brawling. Duking it out here. This is a very high-level game of ProTA, and I can't believe these Tritons have been so effective. Such an interesting unit to see at this level. You just rarely see them at all. But Stag using them expertly here, dealing a lot of economic damage and keeping Rock in his base, keeping him from being able to expand much at all. And Tritons in the north as well. Tritons in the north, Tritons in the south, Tritons in Rock's nightmares. And now with another bombing campaign, this time from Stag, it will just barely fail to take out the advanced K-Bot lab. But now the push through the middle, Stag pulling out all the stops. He has his foot on the gas pedal, and he is going to ram the car down Rock's throat, but Rock has something to say about that. He's not really akin to swallowing large Back to the Future style DeLoreans. And with that, Stag will be forced to retreat, but as you can see, the damage to Rock's island has been devastating. He's lost most of his eco here in the north. And Stag really just keeping him on his toes, even though Rock doing a valiant job of defending, and even a nice bombing run that we missed earlier because we were watching all the action everywhere else. Even though Rock had a nice bombing run, it may not be enough because Stag is very far ahead economically, making almost double the metal production and making about 50% more energy as well. And so even though this bombing run did take out the production, he was able to rebuild very quickly. Wasn't quite ready to push through here though. And now with Warriors on the bridge, it may be even harder. Warriors very, very strong as kind of a brick wall. Hard to push through. But again, Rock struggling, now nano-stalling his energy. He won't be able to even build this Bertha anymore. He doesn't have the energy to do it. And Stag continuing to send Tritons across. You know, and the Tritons meeting under the water, so both players probably able to see each other's Tritons, but unable to interact, as you can see. Like ships passing in the night here. But Rock now trying to break through with these Warriors. Very, very strong at close range, and the Hawks for fire support. It's a nice composition here, and it might force Stag to retreat. There are no defenses on this side. And Warriors quite good in these short range situations if you can get them in range. You can get them on top of the opponent. They do excel. But oh my god, Stag freaking relentless here in the north. Even more Triton spam and moving some through it in the south as well. Stag making Tritons look overpowered. Rock doing his best to try to break through here and counterattack. But I don't know if he has enough. He did break the bridge here. He has made it onto Stag's island. But I don't think he has enough left in his army to win the game, certainly, or even to inflict enough economic damage. Because Stag with these Tritons is beyond a nuisance. Finally, the first Pelicans of the game being built, but it might be too little too late. There are so many Tritons here, and I don't know where Rock's commander is. A D-gun might be pretty useful here, but this advanced aircraft plant almost certainly dead. The Fark's dying as well. Rock attempting to get some damage done of his own, but will it be enough? His commander is up here in the north. But that advanced aircraft plant is now gone, and I think Rock probably about to lose. But hold that thought, because Rock, with his own little Triton attack, guys, we have Tritons all over the place. You might think that this is the most overpowered unit in the game right about now, and it sort of feels like it. It sort of feels like the Triton went from a useless piece of shit to the most overpowered unit in the game. But who am I to judge? I just call it like I see it, ladies and gentlemans. So, I mean, what to do with this game? This game is just all over the place. It really felt to me like Stag was about to win after he did that devastating attack in Rock's main base, but now Rock tit for tat with everybody talking this shit, that shit, and not willing to take all of this sitting down is Rock. He is very much deciding that no, I will not go quietly into that dark night. Holy cow, is Rock gonna come back? Just 2 minutes ago I said that it looked like Rock was dead, and now Rock about to make me eat my freaking words. Thank you, Rock, for making me look like a complete idiot. I'm sure if Rock was here, he would say that I made myself look like a complete idiot, and he had nothing to do with it. Hold that thought, though. Rock sending in a lot of scouts. As I will tell you, as a player, seeing this many scouts, it never bodes well. That's a horrible feeling. Typically, seeing that many scouts fly over your base is sort of like a bad omen. Sort of like in a story-based like first-person shooter, when you enter the room that has all the power-ups, you know, 10 million health kits and BFG 9000, and you're like, oh god. You know something's coming and it's not going to be good. So certainly Stag probably feeling that right now. What the hell was that all about? Why so many scouts? Is a nuke about to land in my base? As it turns out, there is no nuke about to land in his base. Just a lot of Hawks. Both sides with a lot of Hawks, actually. We are in the Hawk stage of the game, and it looks like Rock may tap out. I don't think he was quite dead. I think Rock could have hung in there a little longer, but Stag was definitely ahead. Both players played very valiantly. I really wish Rock would have played it out, because what a fucking epic game. Very well played by both players. I mean, I don't know what to say. This is why I love ProTA. The gameplay is fucking fantastic. It's so high level. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this cast. Very nice use of an extremely underused unit, the Triton. Both players doing it as best they could, and so this is ProTA at full power. Thank you everybody for watching. Join my Discord if you want to. It will be in the description, and I will catch you on the next cast.